Hello, Blue Jays fans. Welcome in the East Coast Blue Jays. I'm your host, Patrick McGraw. On this July 30th, Wednesday, Toronto Blue Jays are playing today. They are playing very shortly while this is recording. So on yesterday's doubleheader loss, they lost both games. It was quite disappointing. We have some injury report on George Springer, and we have a new signing of Seranthony Dominquez. He played for the Baltimore Orioles, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. But thank you all for coming in. If you haven't did it already, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and leave a comment below. But thank you again for coming in. Let's break it down and see exactly what happened yesterday in today's game, some injury reports, a new signing for the Toronto Blue Jays bullpen. So the Toronto Blue Jays went in yesterday's game, a doubleheader game. So the last game, we'll get to the last game. Well, we'll might as well get to the first game here. 1 second. All right, so we made it to the very first game. So yesterday's game, the Toronto Blue Jays played against the last place in the division, Baltimore Orioles. They lost at the score 16-4. Ethan Lucas played in yesterday's game. He did not look sharp. But he kept doing what he was doing, but he only lasted 2 2/3 innings. He allowed 4 hits, 4 runs, 1 K, and he walked 2. It was a blowout. It was quite the blowout for the Toronto Blue Jays. They couldn't muster up anything. Nothing at all. The only time they got a run, they got it close. It was in the 4th inning. They were 4-3 behind. They kept it close. They ended up taking Easton Lucas out of the game. Then they first brought in Lazaro Estrada. He lasted 3 1 innings. He allowed 8 hits, 6 runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Then Chad Green came in. He allowed 4 runs over 1 inning. And then Ali Sanchez, the pitcher of the new call-up catcher for the Toronto Blue Jays, that's taking the spot of Alejandro Kirk because he's on concussion right now. But we'll get to that in a few minutes. But yeah, he ended up pitching in the 8th inning, and he did a lot better than Chad Green, I tell you. But as far as Chad Green, he is no longer a Toronto Blue Jay. The Toronto Blue Jays have DFA'd Chad Green. I was wondering when that was going to happen, but only because the Toronto Blue Jays had to make room for a new acquired bullpen arm, Seranthony Dominquez. But we're going to get that in a few minutes. But as far as the rest of the boys, as far as the batting, there wasn't much. David Schneider had a decent day. He went 2 for 4. Joey Lipperfield, he went 3 for 4. But the big boys like Guerrero, Bo Bichette, they didn't muster much of anything. It was a complete disaster, a blowout, and they were hoping to get into the second day of the doubleheader game later in that night. Hopefully they'll come up with a better outcome, and they did. But they ended up losing of a score of 3-2 to the Orioles again. So the Toronto Blue Jays are now 63-46 for this season. Baltimore Orioles are 50-58 for the season. So who you may ask, who took the loss? Well, Jeff Hoffman took the loss. He ended up giving a run away in the 8th inning to make it 3-2. The Jays were ahead 2-0 in the beginning of the game, but ended up losing. Eric Lauer was pitching that day. He ended up pitching 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 4 Ks for the game. Then Rodriguez came in. Dominguez pitched. Yeah, Dominguez, that used to play for the Baltimore Orioles that day. He ended up getting traded mid-game, and now he ended up pitching up against the Baltimore Orioles, the team that he was just playing with that same day. Now he's in the Toronto Blue Jays organization. So he did pitch well today. He ended up going 1 inning. He had 2 strikeouts. But yeah, welcome aboard, Seranthony. But we'll get to him very shortly. But yeah, Jeff Hoffman, he pitched 1 inning, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, 1 K. So another loss by the Toronto Blue Jays. But today they're playing. They're playing right now as we speak, as I'm recording this. Hopefully they'll have a better outcome. Because it's a 4-game losing streak by the Jays right now. And hopefully the tables will turn for them. So yes, we have a new acquired bullpen arm, as you've probably seen last night. His name is Seranthony Dominquez. He is now a Toronto Blue Jay. So, Toronto Blue Jays officially, we've acquired right-handed pitcher Seranthony Dominquez in cash consideration from the Orioles in exchange for right-handed pitcher Watts Brown. Welcome to the Toronto Blue Jays organization. So, as it stands, one sec. All right, so Seranthony Dominguez was traded to the Toronto Blue Jays in a rare and dramatic move right between games of a doubleheader yesterday, July 29, 2025. So from the Baltimore Orioles to the Toronto Blue Jays between the doubleheader at Camden Yards, reportedly cash consideration or a minor league depth price. Full details not public. So I'm not sure exactly if it was cash or a minor league depth. I think it was a switch. But anyway, so Dominguez literally walked across the stadium from the Orioles clubhouse to the visiting Blue Jays clubhouse. He pitched for the Blue Jays just hours later, facing the team he'd just been part of, and struck out two of the Orioles' 1, 2, 3 innings. The moment instantly headlines the Blue Jays. So yeah, welcome. It was take the good with the bad, I guess. The Blue Jays did make it close, ended up losing 3-2, but he is a strong bullpen that we need in the arm. Now that Chad Green's gone, we don't have to worry about him anymore, but welcome aboard. All right, so we have some reports on Mr. George Springer. Remember George Springer when he got banged in the head with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball? Well, here's a tweet by Ben Nicholson-Smith today. More Jays notes via John Schneider. So George Springer out of the starting lineup today and will likely to get today off, followed by scheduled Jays day off Thursday. So he's not in the lineup today. There's no game tomorrow, so he's going to get an extra day of rest, and then he'll probably end up back in the lineup on Friday. So that is great news to the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm glad he's doing okay. He needs a little bit of rest. As far as Jimmy Garcia, said to be about a week or so from throwing. Hope is Andres Gimenez runs the bases this weekend, then rehab. So yeah, the tweet by Ben Nicholson-Smith. So George Springer's going to be off for a couple of days. Jimmy Garcia, he's planning to come back in a week or so to start throwing. And Andres Gimenez is going to start running the bases very shortly. So a little bit more on George Springer. So on the 28th of July, Springer was struck in the left helmet ear flap by a 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Orioles pitcher Cadstraw. He felt pretty bad, the pitcher. He dropped to the ground, but was alert and speaking as medical staff attended him, then walked off the field under no assistance. So John Matter described him as doing all right, noting that the ball skimmed his shoulder before hitting his helmet. Schneider's also emphasized that Springer remained alert, able to speak. So it's good news for George Springer. I'm glad he's doing okay. Luckily, it just kind of ricocheted off his shoulder, hit him in the ear. But he's doing okay, and that's all that matters. So like I said, there's a game going on right now. The Toronto Blue Jays are playing the final 4-game series up against the Baltimore Orioles, and Jose Barrios is pitching for the Toronto Blue Jays. At the moment, it's still 0-0 tie, bottom of the first, man on first. Jay Westberg is up at the plate. Hopefully the Jays will do better today. So in today's lineup, Lipperfield, Clement, Guerrero, Bosch Bichette, Berger, Schneider, Wagner, Straw, and Ali Sanchez up at the plate again. So we're going to look at the standing as the game goes on. So as it stands right now, the Toronto Blue Jays are still in first place overall in the American League East. They have 4 games up against the Yankees, 5 up against the Red Sox. So that's still good, but we're looking to the league. So the American League standing, whenever this gets through here. So as it stands, we're still in first place, tied with the Detroit Tigers. We're 63-46 for the season. Houston Astros are a game and a half. So far so good. We're still in the mix of things. Now we're going to look at the overall things. We have dropped a bit. We are 2 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers, and unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So as it stands, we're first in the American League East. We're tied for first in the American League. But now we are in fourth place with 2 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers. But yes, everything's good. Hopefully the Jays will come back around. They can't win every game. The Jays can't win every game. The good news is George Springer's doing well. He's going to get a few days more rest before he gets back into the lineup Friday. Kirk is still in concussion protocol. He's going to be out for a few days, so he got more of a brunt than Springer did. Welcome aboard, Seranthony Domínguez. Welcome aboard. It's awesome to see that Ross Atkins is building up the bullpen. As it stands, there's a couple more days left for the trade session. There's going to be a lot going on today and tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. Yes, well, thank you all for coming in here to East Coast Blue Jays. If you lasted this long, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and leave a comment below. How do you feel about the new signing of Seranthony Domínguez? I think it's a great pickup. We need more bullpen help. I'm just glad Chad Green is gone. He's a nice guy, but he's terrible. Friggin' terrible. But I'm glad George is doing well. Hopefully the Jays will get back to their winning ways because they got a team for it. I just can't wait till Varsho gets back and help out the center field. But yes, again, thank you all for coming in. Have yourself a great night. And until next time, let's go Blue Jays.